All right, today's project is unfortunately probably partially my fault. This truck we put a bunch of money into. It's probably been over a year now, maybe two. We put big injectors in it, big turbo. Let's see. We did the intake. I don't know, we did so much work to this, but running big injectors, the fuel system on these things just can't keep up. So I turned the fuel up a little bit too much, and in that you blow the cups out. So now we have diesel here. From here down is diesel, then a little bit of sludge, whatever, and then good coolant. So we're gonna fix it right now. We're gonna put this Irate diesel pump. This is the fuel bowl delete, these pieces. Since we have to do injectors, we have all new O-rings, crush rings, and new cups. While we're in there, we're gonna go ahead and do the high pressure oil pump, whatever this is, the ICP. And then every time you get fuel or diesel in your coolant system like that, it's just a good idea to go ahead and change out your water pump because it will tear those seals out. Looks like it has instructions here, has instructions in there. I think that's it. So I need to just go and sit down. I'm going to read through this book. It does suggest to remove the turbo. I don't want to, but we'll see how that plays out. I'm going to go ahead and just, this is a lot more than what you have to do if you're just doing the fuel system upgrade, but since I have to pull the injectors because I decided to turn the fuel up too much. And the reason I did that is because the stock fuel system, it can't keep up with large injectors. It just can't. And I thought, well, let's see if we could get the fuel pressure bumped up. Well, at an idle, the fuel pressure just kept creeping up and up and up and up and up. And on a highway or something, it couldn't keep up. You'd come to a stop, get off the highway, get off the stop, the fuel bowl would be empty and it would die. It'd start right back up. When you put that much fuel into a truck like this, we have to upgrade the fuel system. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start on it today. It's probably gonna be a few day process because, like I said, I gotta pull injectors. So we're just gonna get right into it. I'm just gonna set the camera up. We're just gonna run through tearing this engine apart. Don't forget to put a drain pan down there. I forgot all that oil comes out, so I have a mess, unfortunately. Guess just let it all go. I did put a drain pan down there, but that's pretty gross. All right, we're just gonna get these lines here removed. We do have to take some brackets off, but I'm hoping I can get this fitting on. Oh, so this pick mount needs to come off. I think it said it needs to come off permanently. I think that's the first thing I'm going to do. It's a couple of bolts. Okay, I got that removed. I am going to get that line off because I don't want to take this turbo off. I'm going to try and use 15mm crow's foot. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work, but I'm gonna try it. Yep, that did work. Oh, of course there's a nut holding it. This unit should come off. They said at least loosen it and move it out of the way. I think I might just unbolt it and see if I can just lay it in here somewhere. They also say to take the air conditioning bracket off, but that one I might actually be able to get to because there's plenty of room here with that fuel bowl gone and everything. So let's just get this the heck out of the way. Okay. Move this. As it says we got to route the supply and return lines back down this way also. I'm going to remove the fuel lines completely. because the way I understand it is the supply will be into the back ports. This will be the pressure regulated return. With that line gone, I'm going to run the new oil lines. I guess they're not new, but I had some other ones out back. Oil lines for this high pressure oil pump and get that completely wrapped up. I have to change this fitting out. There's a plug down here I need to take out also. And then the fitting in the back, I just took the hose off. That needs to come out. And then there's a plug on the back of the head. Let's see if I can touch it. Way back in there by the turbo. All right, just a couple of things here. I got this hooked up. It's the regulator. This hole can be plugged. It's for vacuum if you're running EFI. This is where you would put the mechanical gauge if you're using that, but we have gauges inside that we're going to hook up to that. So this went well. These two here, I did have to remove the AC, which big deal. The back one is hard to see. You can barely see it. Back there, that's in for this metal line here, and you're supposed to put a 90, this 90 back. There's a hole, I don't know if you can see it back there. Anyways, there's a hole back there. It is impossible. You have to take the up pipe off. It's not a suggestion. You have to take the up pipe off. I mean, you could take the turbo out too, but I got the other one in with no problem with the turbo in. This one, you have to take the up pipe off. So went ahead, crawled under, verified that the line closest to the frame is the one you put the return on. The return line is this, comes with the push lock and nothing. So the nothing, I think, it's going to be one of these fittings in this bag. Oh, it just clicked. Okay. Now, there we go. All right, that's clamped in. Make sure it's routed away. Yeah, maybe that 90 will work. If I go on this side of it, I think that 90 will wrap pretty good. I'm not going to do the rear fuel lines because I still need to take that up pipe off. When we come back, get this valve cover up and out of our way, pull injectors, and we'll get our little cup removal tool and start getting everything in here cleaned up. Out of the way. All right, yep. Alrighty, now we'll pull the injectors. I should have the coolant drained all the way down below this, or else coolant will drip in once we pull those cups out. So I'm gonna get that Allen head. All right, normally, depending on how long you're gonna have your injectors out, if you're pulling them all, whatever, always label them. I just did mine first to the last, and you can actually tell they were probably running kind of poor anyways, and I think a lot of it had to do with the fuel pressure, because these aren't that old of injectors, and you can see this buildup on them already. But that's what we're here to fix. Try and get this thing to run a little bit better. I'm gonna let that stuff drain down. Oil will be in the cylinder. It's always best before you just start cranking this over that you hand crank it once you get it back together a lot, because it will hydrolock with that little bit of oil in there. So I'm gonna get set up with my tools and we're gonna pull those apart, but I do want to let those drain for a bit. This is what those tools look like. This piece will run down in there. These kind of like a tap. It'll run down in there, catch it, And then you want to make sure that's in there far enough. This little nut, literally you'll just pull that cap out and you take it off. All right, we're gonna get one of these pulled real quick, I hope. Okay, so I just backed this nut off a little bit. This is a 3/4. It's the top one. Okay, let's see if that grabbed it. There it is. It's not something you have to do, but I like to. It's really hard to see a screen on a screen, but we're gonna get down in there. And there's a chunk of something down in there. What the heck is that? I don't know if the screen's picking it up or not, but there's something right there. Let me see if these goofy pliers will let me get down in there. I think I got it. Oh, that's of some of the Loctite. Alright, I'm gonna scope back down in there again and we're gonna see if we can get a better view. There's some crap in there I need to figure out how to get out. So I'm gonna try and get a vacuum cleaner, and then I want to see if I can scrape that a little bit down in there. Plus this upper mating surface needs to be cleaned. Alright, easiest way for me to get those cleaned out in there, I just take a long skinny sharp screwdriver, scrape around, take this contraption, I just duct tape a hose that fits down in there good, use some brake clean, and I keep sticking my camera down in there until I know it's a good clean surface that's not oily. Alright, we're just going to wipe this down with some degreaser. We're going to go ahead and use this 620, the R620. It's kind of gooey. Okay, put that on the driver like that. I'm going to drop it in. We're going to take a hammer and we're just going to keep tapping until it sounds different. Now, you know you hit bottom because it's bouncy. Now, let's see if you guys can look down in there or not. Should look something like that. Alright, I just realized I didn't go over any of the O-rings or anything. I don't know why, but we're going to do it now. So, crush ring has to come off. I take a razor blade because it's the easiest to get behind it. Come on. Take a little pick. Pick your O-rings out. Clean out your grooves. Clean your tip. Get your 4 O-rings. I have them in an oil bath in here. Put the square one on, blue one on, pink one on, and orange. Now, new crush ring. I put this with the little bump facing that way. Take a 3/8 socket, something to tap it with. Okay, leave it oily. We're gonna take this thing, make sure it's facing the correct direction. Okay, I just take a little soft hammer and just tap it in. Once that can go under, that's done. Okay, and then you give it a torque. Alright, I went ahead, I wrapped that side up and got those injectors all installed. I took some time and took that, light won't stay on. I took that up pipe off, dang it. And what I found is this this 90 that they supply for that back port would work perfectly fine now, except if you're running this aluminum, billet aluminum intake, when you go to screw this in, it hits the intake here as it rises up. I think I'm just gonna go see if I can find a different fitting. I know they make a fitting that's like this 90 here that they supplied on that you can screw partially in and then run this down and then clamp it. I'm pretty sure that would work just fine. Should have the exact same end on there. It just sucks that it won't fit. You'd have to take the whole intake, the turbo. I just don't want to have to do that. I'm hoping that it would clear. I don't know if maybe there's not enough space. I don't know if maybe I can just go buy a 45 and then a 45 with that fitting. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna come up with something to where I don't have to pull that turbo and the intake off. Mainly just because that's a lot of time. Okay, my solution. I ordered a 1/8 inch male to 1/8 inch female, basically to just lift this fitting up to where I screw it in, it should be above the intake. It'll be here tomorrow. Local places didn't have any in stock, which is fine. So we need to pull this bed off. This truck was not a regular truck bed. This was a chassis cab. It had a big utility bed on it. So normally you would have to take your fueler out of this, but we have onboard air, so I got to remove this. I got to pull the toolbox. I think the headache rack can stay. This is where our fuel up is, so I'll just basically take this apart to where that comes out. That mount's not very good. Now I went ahead, this is the feed line, and you want to be able to put this thing somewhere, and I was trying to figure out if it had enough room, if I can put it behind that. I might actually be able to put this, because you got to realize this hole isn't that as big, so we need to go make sure, see how far away it is from these. I'd kind of like to put it here, because by the time I get this installed, we're gonna have to trim the bottom of this just a little bit above where this foot is. I think we can just take that foot off once we get this installed. So I'm gonna go verify that I can actually put it in this area. Oh yeah. Let's see. So it may not have the room I'm looking for. I may have to put it back here. I wish I knew how important this little contraption was. It doesn't look important to me. The gauge is on the return. I'm gonna just drill this hole out. I mean, if I have to, I can always weld it, but that's 13 3/4. This probably sets on the bottom and might even push on it a little bit. So we say 13 1/2. We'll do 13 3/8 total length. Let me write that somewhere so I forget it. Let's see, it's 13 3/8 total. Okay, I'm gonna get a drill and we're gonna start drilling this hole out the best we can to put that new piece in there. Let's see if we can ruin a perfectly good step bit if it's not already ruined. Oh, it turned. It spun. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, let's get that hose off there now. There's a hose for that whole return thing. I don't think it matters, but I think we can just shoot that return that way. Never know till you find out. Aha! Done. Let's get rid of that whole contraption out of there. Now let's try and get this hole big enough. Oh, I let the smoke out. Whoa! Tear it out of your arms here. Alright, it's gonna have to go a lot bigger. Which means I wanna see if I can direct this up at all. Let's see. Oh, it's so close. Maybe. Oh, I think I can make that work. Okay. I'm going to get a file and we'll file that out. That's how she looks. I already trimmed it down to the 13 3/8 that I wrote down. This push lock, it says that you're going to want to get a little bit of lube on there inside the hose. Right, I'm just using some motor oil because that's what I had from when I put the injector O-rings on. Okay. Now this hose says it's a push lock plus. They claim no clamps needed, so that's that. We're gonna go put this in. We're gonna go see how far this hose gets us to find out where we want to install our the pump. The compressor's here. I kind of want it in that location though. This will be in the way. Let's see. I'll have plenty of hose. That would be nice. Now the way this bracket looks, e-brake line is in the way. Come under here. I think we can. Shoot, it's gonna hit that. I can't. It's hard for me to put it on this other side because we have these automatic steps. The ideal place is right there where all that shit is. I think I may have to move that compressor somewhere else, because that's where I would like that to sit. Now honestly, if you're doing this on your truck and you don't have these those are steps that, you know, automatically come in and out. Right there would be perfect. Right here would be perfect if I didn't have to go around that. I'm gonna end up having to mount it that direction, right where the compressor's at. Okay, we are going to move this in this area. All right, went ahead, got all that shit removed, got the new pump bolted in, intake line, it's all on, all secure. And I've procrastinated just long enough for that fitting to arrive. So this is the fitting I was waiting on. I'm really hoping it's the correct fitting. We'll know here in a second. Hopefully that's just enough to get it up above that intake. So since it's hard to film back there, I'm just going to get it done, then I'll see if I can sneak the camera in there. Alright, well, this is what it's supposed to look like, I think. That, here, I don't have a light back there, but it's really difficult to see back in there, which is pointless. Anyways, the fuel lines come down, they look good, tucked. I got this kind of where I want it here. I'm going to spend some time and get the alternator bracket put on. I'm going to put all the intake back on, get all the wiring harness put back in, and get this basically fan. I'm just going to button up this engine bay. I'll probably take some. Now we are finally to wiring. The harness it comes with has positive, negative, pretty easy. Let's see, the relay is here. Then it just runs back to the new fuel pump. This yellow wire. Yellow wire is a trigger wire. So that one you can attach it to your existing fuel pump wire if you want. But for us on this application, since these trucks get stolen, I'm going to wire it to a toggle switch inside the cab that we're going to hide. I don't know if the batteries I pulled out are any good anymore. So I'm going to try and get the rest of this together, get the batteries in. We're going to go ahead and go through the cycling process, and I need to get the oil primed in that new high pressure oil pump. All right, well, had to get new batteries after all. I wouldn't do nothing. So I got new batteries, got some water in there, checked the oil. I already primed it. I set the fuel pressure. Turning this in will increase the fuel pressure. I have it just below 60 for now. And if I need, we could bump it up a little bit more, but I know it says 60 max. So we need to get the key. Still have a couple little things to button up, but all right. Let's see here. Got that gauge there. All right. So we're running right around the 60-ish mark. It'll take a few minutes to get this thing to start. Come on, baby. Oh, yeah. All right, I'm gonna turn the high idle up on this thing. And I'm gonna go ahead and get it warmed up. And then hopefully tomorrow, let me get over here somewhere. All right, I'm gonna let that warm up, and I gotta make sure there's no leaks in any of the system. And I'm gonna pull it out back and get the bed mounted up, and hopefully it stops raining long enough. I can take this for a few drives to make sure it runs any better and all. All right, got her all hooked back up. Now we got to do a cold start. Oh, that's not bad. Well, I was hoping for a little quicker start, but maybe the glow plugs are bad. I should have changed them while they're right in front of me, but it started a lot easier than what it would have. It's pretty cool out this morning. I'm gonna let it warm up. I gotta take it for a little drive, make sure it still has the power that we're looking for. I'm hoping I can adjust the seat. Oh yeah. I'll get it all messed up for him. There we go. Okay. I have one more thing I need to do that I'm not going to put on camera. So I think that's where I'm going to end this video. Thanks for watching.